I'm Akshat Malhotra. Welcome to the course on the fundamentals of personal finance. Well, if you've been watching all of these videos, by now you're all set with your savings, investments, the right money mindset, budgeting, financial planning, and even taxes. And now it's time to deep dive into mutual funds. Well, have fun watching these videos and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the second module on mutual funds. Well, we promised you a deep dive into mutual funds, so we thought we have to cover tons of aspects, and thus these two modules were required. And so in the first chapter of this module, we're going to talk about the ways of investing your money into mutual funds as well as withdrawing your money from these funds. So let's begin with understanding the ways of investing our money. And there are two ways in which you could do that. Number one, lump sum, and number two, SIP. Lump sum, as the name suggests, you invest the entire amount at one go into a particular scheme, and whatever is the day's NAV, you get units allocated to that. We'll just see how that happens. And the other way, SIP, also called as systematic investment plan. In this, every month you decide on a fixed amount that would get invested into the mutual fund scheme. So whatever is the NAV on that particular date every month, that's which will get allocated to you. So lump sum versus SIP, which one should we go for? Let's look at that with the help of a working example. So what we've done here is we've prepared, we've taken out the data for this HDFC Top 100 fund. And once again, no affiliations. Okay. So it's a regular fund. And what we've done is we've taken out this data, and you see the right side of the table, right? That's what we're going to concentrate on right now. So let's suppose on the 1st of Jan 2020, you had 1,20,000 rupees with you. Okay. You got some bonus from your office, or you got a great assignment and you got 1,20,000 rupees in your bank account. And you thought, let me go ahead and invest that money. So on the 1st of Jan 2020, on that day, the NAV of this HDFC Top 100 fund was 502 rupees. The price of one unit was 502 rupees. Your investment amount was 1,20,000. Your investment amount was 1,20,000, right? So how many units would you get that day? 1,20,000 divided by 502, which is your NAV, total value by your NAV is your total number of units. So you got 239 units allocated. You got this, right? It is as simple as you go pay 1,000 rupees, ask petrol wala bhaiya to put petrol in your car's tank, and then some liters are put into your petrol tank, into the car. Right? So similarly, you put in 1,20,000 rupees of investment, price of one unit was 502, simple unitary method, 239 units got allocated to you, right? Now, on 1st of December 2020, we've taken this data from 1st Jan 2020 to 1st of December 2020. On 1st of December 2020, the price of one NAV went down to 496. From 502, it went down to 496. So which means, though you were invested for that entire year, on 1st of December 2020, the investment value went down from 1,20,000 to 1,18,000 rupees. Your investment value went down from 1,20,000 to 1,18,000 rupees. Loss? Oh, that's a minor one. Okay. Let's say you didn't have money on the 1st of Jan. Rather, you had money on the 3rd of Feb. Again, a random date. On 3rd of Feb, you had 1,20,000 rupees, and on that day, the NAV value was 470 rupees. Right? So you got 255 units allocated 120 divided by 470 gives you 255. And once again, if you look at the investment value on 1st of December 2020, the NAV was 496, and so your investment value was 1,26,000 rupees, which means you made some profit in a period of 1 year. Your 120 went up to 126. And similarly, let's say, you didn't even invest on 3rd of Feb, you got some money on the 1st of April, and you invested 1,20,000 on the 1st of April. On that day, the NAV was 332 rupees. So you got 360 units. COVID time, the market has fallen. And the current NAV as of 1st December 2020 was 496. And so your investment value on 1st of December would have become 1,79,000 rupees. Huge difference from what would have happened in January and February, right? Your 1,20,000 in Jan would have given you a loss, whereas the same investment amount on 1st of April 2020 would have given you a profit of almost 60,000 rupees. And that's what happens with the lump sum investment. Similarly, let's say you invested on 1st of July, your 1,20,000 would have become 1,45,000. 1st of October, 1,20,000 would have become 1,39,000, so on and so forth. So that means that since the stock markets are so volatile, we don't know how they're going to perform the next month. If you had invested on 1st of March, you would have made just 14,000 rupees of profit. Rather, if you had invested on 1st of April, you would have made 60,000 rupees of profit. And so, since these stock markets are volatile, we are not sure. Nobody can time the markets, right? None of us can time the markets. And so, we don't know whether we should go in and invest today, or we should go in and invest tomorrow, or we should wait for the next 2 months. How do we go about that? We'll just discuss in a moment. Let's look at how an SIP works. The left side of the table, let's look at how an SIP works. So let's say you had that 1,20,000 rupees on 1st of Jan again, and rather you just kept this 1,20,000 in your bank account. And now, every month you set up an instruction that 10,000 rupees should get debited from your bank account and get invested into the mutual fund scheme. So 10,000 rupees got invested on 1st of Jan. So you got a total of 19 units, 10,000 divided by 500, 19 units. In Feb, another 21 units. In March, you got another 22 units. April, 30 units because the market had fallen. May, 27 units. June, 25 units. Market started recovering. So the NAV kept going up, and so the units kept coming down. But you get the point. Every month you're investing 10,000 rupees and you're getting some units allocated. And now if you see your investments as of 1st of December, you invested a total of 1,20,000. You got 283 units in total. And as per the average cost, because you got some units on every different NAV. So we take an average cost. Average cost is 423. And you made an investment value of 1,40,000, which means you made 20,000 rupees in profit, right? And this is exactly what an SIP does. An SIP averages out the risks that you might face with your investments. When the market goes down, the NAV goes down, and so you get more units allocated. When the market goes up, NAV goes up, so you get less units. But all in all, at the end of your investment period, you get an average, and so all your risks are taken care of. So if you, just for the comparison purpose, let's do a check here. Let's see how many times, let's say if you would have invested on 1st of Jan or 1st of Feb or 2nd of March, how many times would have the probability of getting more than 1,40,000, been there. So in January, it was 118. So you didn't beat your SIP. In Feb, it was 126. You didn't beat your SIP. Again, March, 134 didn't beat your SIP. In April, it did beat the SIP. May again, so 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of 12 times, In a lump sum investment, you were not able to beat the SIP, right? And once again, the point being that it's better to get the average here because you're able to take care of the risks rather than getting stuck into the markets. Maybe you invested when the markets were at an all-time high and then the markets kept falling down and then you got scared, you got panicked, and then you took out your money, right? And that's why it is said that we all must be disciplined when it comes to our investment approach, and SIP is that discipline. SIP is the way through which we can develop that discipline, right? I hope that helps. I hope this has clarified the SIP versus lump sum. Moving forward, the next that I'd want to discuss is a systematic transfer plan. And this is something that is very, very useful in terms of when we get a bonus, and I'll just explain you that in a moment. So what is systematic transfer plan? As the name suggests, transfer. So that is used to transfer your money from one mutual fund scheme to another mutual fund scheme, but within the same AMC, which means, for example, if you invested into an SBI scheme, you can transfer your money from that SBI scheme only to an SBI scheme, not into an ICICI, HDFC or Kotak, right? So within AMC only. So that is what a systematic transfer plan is. Let's say you have 1 lakh rupees in one mutual fund scheme within an AMC and you want to transfer 10,000 every month into another mutual fund scheme. That's when you use an STP. Now in the real life scenario, when would an STP come into picture? Let's say once again you get a bonus and it was 1st of Jan 2020, the same example, you get a bonus of 1,20,000. You feel that, I don't want to keep this money in my savings account. I would hardly fetch any returns. And then I shouldn't even go for a lump sum investment because, you never know about the market. So let's do this thing. Let me choose a short-term debt fund. Remember, we studied about the debt funds. Let's choose a short-term debt fund because that has an average maturity of 6 to 12 months. And let me put all of this 1,20,000 into that particular debt fund. Right? Debt fund, good for short-term investments, relatively safer than equity. And at the same time, they would give us a little higher returns than our savings bank account or our fixed deposits. So we invested that 1,20,000 into the debt fund. And now from that debt fund, you could initiate an STP request, which means from that debt fund, every month, some portion of the money will get transferred into an equity fund. You could set up your STP to transfer your money from that debt fund to an equity fund. What would happen? You'd get the best flavors of both the worlds. You'll have some capital appreciation because of your money in the debt fund, and then you will average out the risks of investing into the stock markets because you're putting an STP into the equity funds. So that's an example where you could use STP. Definitely very, very useful, and helps you average out all your risks. And then finally comes the systematic withdrawal plan, SWP. This would be helpful to you maybe post your retirement or for times when you need a recurring income coming in. So let's say once again you have created a corpus of 1 crore rupees till your retirement age. Now you want to have some money incoming every month, kind of a monthly salary. So what you do is you set up, and on the other hand, there is no point taking out all of that money at once and putting that in your savings account again, right? 1 crore, you take it out, put it in your savings account, you don't get anything. So you set up an SWP, which means every month I need 1 lakh rupees credited into my bank account, and the remaining 99 lakhs would continue to be invested, would continue staying invested, right? So 1 crore every month. Now I'll start getting 1 lakh rupees. Next month I get another 1 lakh rupees. So the remaining 98,000 continue staying invested. Maybe they become 98,000, 5,000, 98 lakhs, 5,000, 98 lakhs, 10,000, so on and so forth. So you get the point where you're systematically withdrawing money from your mutual fund scheme without really, taking out all of your money at once. That's when a systematic withdrawal plan can be useful for us. Yes, definitely, mostly through, post our retirement years, Or if you feel that you want a recurring income coming in, then also this could be a very helpful investment plan. Well, with that, I hope I have been able to explain you the ways of investing and withdrawing your money through various techniques: SIP, lump sum, STP, SWP. See you in the next chapter, where we're going to talk about how do we go about choosing the category of mutual fund that we need to invest in. If you have any questions, please add them in the comments below and I will make sure we answer them. Do like, share and subscribe to this channel.